My focus meditation recording is based on the idea of utilizing largely your visual sense as the beginning of the process. So utilizing an image, either an object like a crystal or a candle flame or a statue or some sort of shape, and staring at it fixedly while you're relaxing and otherwise engaging consciously in the process. But what I want you to do is utilize all three of the components of consciousness that I've mentioned in other videos, and that is visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So if possible, you'll want to engage with whatever it is that you're looking at in a way that you can get the kinesthetics of it as well. So for instance, if you're utilizing a candle flame, you can get the kinesthetics of the warmth, or you can concentrate on the candle wax itself, or you can concentrate on in some way on what it means to you, the light, or the moving towards greater insight into things, something along those lines, but just as a feeling gestalt, and then say candle over and over again, or a mantra if you want to. But the visual aspect of it is particularly powerful, because the more we stare at something without varying our gaze at it, the more our attention locks into place. And so this particular meditation can be very powerful and profound in changing your sense of what is the universe. Because if you stay with an object in a very fixed way, you start to realize that a lot of stuff that you take for granted as being consistent, kind of, it isn't really necessarily as fixed as you think, and the whole universe just sort of begins to float away and become just various sensations, and the object that you're looking at becomes the main thing. And you don't have to do this by physically looking at an object. You can do it with merely a mental object, or you can do it with a physical object that you then turn into a mental object and close your eyes partway through. At a certain point in the recording, I say, if you are looking at a physical object, you can close your eyes. Now, I'm not telling you to do that at that point. I'm telling you that you have that option. I think there's a very profound experience that can take place just by keeping your eyes open and continuing to look at the meditation object. And there's a different but related profound experience that can happen by moving more to a mental object, or starting with a mental object to begin with. Now, there's a relationship between this particular program and the Bhakti program, in that they both tend to involve a visual focus and a kinesthetic focus and an auditory focus that can be somewhat, they can cross over each other. The difference in them is that largely with this meditation, you're not going to choose something that has a highly spiritual value. It can have a spiritual meaning, but it's not, you're not utilizing an object that in and of itself has a spiritual power over you, in the same way that you would if you were looking at an image of your vision of the divine. You're simply looking at an object, and it can have spiritual meaning to it. You could utilize a statue for it as well, but at the same time, you're not going to be focusing on that aspect so much as you're going to be focusing on just concentration on it in general. The feeling-oriented part of it should be there, even no matter what. But it's the main focus is the focus itself, and hopefully that will help you to differentiate between those things. However, I do want you to utilize all three components as powerfully as possible while you're doing it.